Hi there, it's Lisa Balachi St. Romain here on our 13th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And our first reading is a lovely story from the book, a second book of Kings, okay? So we have some names in here that you may be, like me, have been pronouncing incorrectly, but our Lector workbook tells us how. So it is Elisha came to Shunem, and the servant is Gehazi. That's not how I've pronounced it in the past, Gehazi. Okay, so it's about a woman who has some amount of power and influence. Particularly, her husband allows her influence because they build a space on the roof for the prophet to stay when he's in town, right? And because of her hospitality, she's rewarded. So it's a story that you want to tell with great, what? One day, once upon a time, with some storytelling, as if you were talking to kids or grandkids about it, right? So one day, Elisha came to Shunem, where there was a woman of influence who urged him to dine with her. Afterward, whenever he passed by, he used to stop there to dine. So she said to her husband, "I know that Elisha is a holy man of God, since he visits us often." So do you see how much eye contact I'm making? Because it's a story, right? So we're just going to make eye contact through this story and tell these people, right? Let us arrange a little room for him on the roof and furnish it for him with a bed, table, chair, and lamp, so that when he comes to us, he can stay there. Sometime later, Elisha arrived and stayed in the room overnight. So apparently her husband listened to her and did it just as she wanted. That's very nice. Later, Elisha asked, "Can something be done for her?" Okay, so he notices this wonderful hospitality and he wonders, what can I do for her? His servant Gehazi answers, yes, immediately. So Gehazi has been paying attention as he's been traveling with Elisha. She has no son, and her husband is getting on in years. So you know what that means. If, as a widow with no son, she would be reduced to a beggar. Elisha says, very good. So you're going to pause, and her husband is getting on in years, so there's some concern, right? Elisha said, call her. I know what I'm going to do. Call her. So your voice, just those two words, call her. When the woman had been called and stood at the door, so she's not entering the room, Elisha promised, "This time next year, you will be fondling a baby son." And that's wonderful news, and we're smiling at the end, okay? Pause. The word of the Lord. There you go. So the more eye contact that you can make, every line to make eye contact with people in the church, it becomes more of a connecting story. So that would be your job. All right, thank you. God bless. Take care.